There's a truth women will never tell you, and it's not because they're hiding something malicious. It's because if you ever discover it, they lose their power over you. If you ever understand what I'm about to say, you will stop chasing. You'll stop begging, and you'll start seeing the game for what it is. You'll become the man she silently prays never wakes up. Most of you are trying so hard to prove yourself to women. Trying to be good enough, texting back faster, being nicer, making more money, hoping that one day she'll see your worth. But here's what she won't say: the more you try to impress her, the more she loses respect for you. Not because she's evil, but because deep down, a woman is biologically wired to crave a man who doesn't need her validation. She doesn't want you to find this video because it'll teach you how to stop chasing her and start becoming him. And once you become him, she comes to you, she submits to you, she softens for you, she desires you. So if you're tired of being ghosted, if you're tired of being the nice guy that finishes last, if you're exhausted from trying to prove your worth to women who treat you like an option, stay. Because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see yourself and women forever. ChatGPT said most men confuse emotional availability with emotional strength. And that's where it all goes wrong. You see, you've been told, maybe even by women, that they want a man who is vulnerable, open, and emotionally expressive. And sure, on the surface, that's partially true. But what most people won't say, and what most women can't articulate, is that they don't want a man who's led by his emotions. They want a man who has emotions, but knows how to carry them with authority. That's the difference. Emotional availability means you can feel, but emotional authority means you don't crumble. You can cry. You can hurt. You can be in pain. But when you make your emotions her responsibility, when you vent without control, when you spiral, when you hand over the keys to your emotional world and expect her to drive, you stop being the man in her eyes. You become another emotional burden, another child she has to care for, another storm she has to survive. And no matter how compassionate she is, no matter how much she says she wants to be there for you, her feminine nature will begin to resist the weight of your collapse. A woman doesn't need you to be robotic. She needs you to be rooted. There's a difference between vulnerability and volatility. The first draws her closer, the second pushes her away. What she's really testing for when she sees you stressed, angry, or overwhelmed is, can you stay anchored? Can you feel without falling apart? Can you protect yourself emotionally before she ever feels safe enough to let go? She wants to know that if she breaks down, you won't. That if she's scared, you're steady. That if her emotions go wild, yours won't mirror hers like a child trying to find safety in chaos. She wants you to be the man who doesn't get lost in his own pain, not because you don't feel, but because you know how to feel without losing direction. When you show emotional authority, you become a lighthouse in her storm, and that's what women want, even if they never say it out loud. That's what makes her feel like she can surrender, like she can breathe, like she can trust. Not a man who tells her every insecurity as if she's his mother. Not a man who dumps his sadness without discernment, but a man who can hold space for himself and for her. So if you're hurting right now, I want you to know it's okay to feel it, but don't bleed it all over her. Don't ask her to patch up wounds you haven't faced yourself. Learn to sit with your pain. Learn to cry in the mirror before you cry in her arms. Learn to be the man who feels deeply, but is moved by purpose, not by emotion. Because when you master that, she'll feel it, and she'll never want to leave it. One of the biggest mistakes men make, especially men who have big hearts, who care deeply, who just want to love, is putting a woman at the center of their universe. And I get it. When you like someone, when she lights you up, when she makes you feel seen in ways others haven't, it's easy to start making her your focus, your source of motivation, your reason to wake up in the morning. But here's the truth no one told you. The moment a woman feels like she's become your mission is the moment she starts losing attraction. It's not because she doesn't want love. It's not because she doesn't appreciate being cherished. It's because at her core, she's not built to lead the relationship. She's built to respond to your direction. And when your eyes are locked on her, trying to impress her, texting her all day, centering your schedule around hers, she begins to feel like the man. Like she's the one who has to keep everything going, and even if she doesn't know how to explain it, her body starts to resist. Her interest fades, her softness hardens. You were never meant to orbit her. She was meant to orbit you. Not in an arrogant way, not in a controlling way, but in a masculine, purposeful, grounded way where your mission is bigger than her, where you wake up for something greater than her attention, something that fuels you even when she doesn't reply to your message. A man on a mission is irresistible because he's unpredictable, focused, moving forward with or without her. And that mystery, that ambition, that energy of you can come with me, but I'm going anyway. That's what pulls her in. That's what makes her lean into her feminine. That's what inspires her to support you, not because you need her, but because she wants to stand beside something real, something powerful, something that moves. The more you focus on chasing her, the less she values your time. The more you make her the goal, the less desirable you become. But when your goal is building your body, your career, your legacy, your spiritual depth, and she sees that you're serious about it, she starts asking herself, how can I be part of his world? And if she doesn't, that's okay, because when you're really walking in your purpose, you don't panic when people exit. You don't crumble when women don't reciprocate. You're already full, already whole, already driven. I need you to hear this clearly. She doesn't want all your time. She wants your presence. And your presence becomes more powerful when it's rare, when it's earned, when it's rooted in something deeper than just trying to get her to like you. Make your mission bigger than your desire for her, because when you do, she'll chase you. And even if she doesn't, you'll still be moving forward. Because your path was never about her in the first place. ChatGPT said, you ever wonder why just when things are finally going well with her, she suddenly pulls back, gets moody, distant, maybe even starts fights out of nowhere, and you're sitting there thinking, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong, you just didn't understand the test. Because that's exactly what it is, a test, and the mistake most men make is thinking it's personal. It's not personal, it's primal. You have to understand something about women. When she starts acting off, it's not always about what you said or didn't say. Sometimes she's not even fully aware of why she's doing it. It's her nervous system scanning your energy, testing the foundation. Seeing if she can trust you, seeing if you can hold her fire without losing your cool. It's not malicious. It's instinct because her feminine is chaos. It's energy, emotion, movement, and your masculine. It's supposed to be stillness. Direction, ground. When she's acting cold, when she's pulling back, when she's giving you attitude, what she's really saying is, can I trust you not to break under pressure? Can I feel safe falling into you even when I'm spiraling? But instead of staying grounded, most men react. They get defensive. They start explaining themselves. Over-apologizing, trying to fix her feelings just so she doesn't leave, and in that moment, the test is failed. Not because you're not a good guy, but because you just showed her that your emotions are being controlled by hers. And now, in her eyes, you're no longer the leader. You're following her emotional lead. That's the opposite of safety. A woman doesn't want a man who controls her. She wants a man who doesn't lose himself trying to keep her. That's the difference when she lashes out and you stay calm, not with arrogance, but with quiet strength. You pass. When you don't chase her silence, don't beg her to talk, but instead give her space without resentment. You pass. When you look at her and say, I'm here when you're ready, but I'm not going to dance around your moods. You pass. Because what she's really craving isn't perfection, it's your stability. She wants to see that you can hold your ground without being cruel, that you can stay rooted in who you are, even when she's spinning, and when you do, that's when she melts. That's when the tension drops. That's when she feels safe, and a safe woman becomes soft, feminine, devoted. Stop seeing her emotional outbursts as something to fix. Start seeing them as invitations to rise, to breathe, to hold frame, because the man who can do that, he's the man she trusts, the man she respects, the man she can finally relax with. And when a woman can relax with you, that's when you unlock her heart. Not because you passed her test, but because you passed your own. Let's talk about the nice guy, that sweet, always available, super considerate man who never says no, never causes conflict, and would do anything to make a woman happy. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've been that guy. Maybe you still are. And the world told you that being nice is the key. That if you're just kind enough, gentle enough, loving enough, she'll stay. She'll love you. She'll choose you over the bad boys that keep breaking her heart. But here's the truth you don't want to hear. Being a nice guy is not attractive because it's not real. It's not rooted in strength. It's rooted in fear. Most nice guys aren't nice because they're strong. They're nice because they're scared. Scared of being rejected, scared of being alone, scared of standing up for themselves and not being liked. So they put on a mask, they become overly agreeable, they hide their desires, they shrink themselves just to avoid conflict. They give too much, too fast, expecting love in return, and then they get resentful when it doesn't come. But what they don't realize is women can feel that. Women are emotionally intelligent. They may not always say it, but they can sense when your kindness is fake, when it's not coming from confidence, but from neediness, when every compliment is laced with silent desperation, when your good deeds have a price tag. She can feel when you're not being kind because it's who you are, but because you want something back. Love, attention, sex, approval, whatever it is, and that's not kindness. That's manipulation, soft manipulation, but manipulation nonetheless. A real man, a grounded man, is not afraid of saying no. He's not afraid to disagree. He's not afraid to set boundaries and let people walk away. And because of that, when he chooses to be kind, that kindness means something. It has weight, it's real. He's not giving to get, he's giving because he's full, because he respects himself first. That kind of man is rare. And that kind of man gets respect. Women don't want nice. They want real. They want truth. They want to know that you can hold your own in a conversation without shrinking. That you'll stand up for your values even if she doesn't agree. That you won't fold just because she's upset. That you can look her in the eye and say, I hear you, but this is where I stand. That's attractive. That's leadership. That's masculine energy. So if you're always being nice and still finishing last, maybe it's time to stop hiding behind politeness. Maybe it's time to ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Because true connection isn't built on walking on eggshells. It's built on truth. And truth sometimes comes with discomfort, but it also comes with respect, and respect is the foundation of love that lasts. Don't be nice to avoid rejection. Be real to attract alignment. That's how you win. Not by being who you think she wants, but by being who you actually are without apology. So many men are out here thinking the way to a woman's heart is to make her the center of their world. To put her on a pedestal, to tell her how beautiful she is 10 times a day, to cater to her every mood, every need, every text. And don't get me wrong, admiration is beautiful, but obsession, that's different. When you worship a woman, you don't make her feel loved, you make her feel smothered. And eventually she stops feeling anything. You see, a woman doesn't want to be your god. She wants to look up to you. She wants to feel like she chose a man who walks with presence, with authority, with direction. When you keep telling her she's your everything, your whole world, your only source of joy, that pressure becomes heavy. That energy becomes desperate, and whether she realizes it consciously or not, she starts to lose respect for you. Because you've shown her that your life revolves around her, and deep down, no woman wants that. She wants to feel like she earned her place beside you, not like she's your savior. She wants to see that you have a life, a mission, a standard, and that she gets to share in that, not replace it. When a woman meets a man who knows who he is, who's not looking to be completed, who's not throwing himself at her feet, she pays attention. Not because he's arrogant, but because he's centered. The truth is, the more you worship her, the more she looks down on you. Not because she's ungrateful, but because she can't respect a man who doesn't respect himself first. You think you're being romantic, when in reality, you're showing her that you don't believe you're enough without her. That kind of energy doesn't inspire her, it repels her, because love, real love, is born from admiration, not desperation. You want to make her heart race, be a man she can look up to, show her that you have discipline, that you say what you mean, that you're not swayed by every emotion or every pretty face. Show her that you've built something, that you stand for something, that even without her you're whole, and with her you're powerful, not needy. A woman wants to be chosen by a man who could have anyone but chose her, not because he needed to, not because he had no other option, but because she aligned with his vision, with his values, with his standard. That kind of choice, that kind of energy, it lights her up. It makes her want to rise to meet you, not because you worshipped her, but because you made her want to honor you. So stop putting her on a throne she never asked for. Be the man who builds his own kingdom, and if she's the right one, she'll want to sit beside you, not above you. Every woman, whether she admits it or not, craves leadership from a man, and I'm not talking about control. I'm not talking about manipulation or domination or forcing her to submit. I'm talking about something far deeper, something that starts with you. I'm talking about self-mastery. Because the only kind of man a woman will truly surrender to, emotionally, spiritually, physically, is a man who has conquered himself first. See, you can't ask a woman to follow you if you don't even know where you're going. You can't expect her to feel safe with you if you're still ruled by every impulse, every emotion, every temptation that crosses your path. A woman might be attracted to your looks, your charm, your ambition, but none of that means anything if she can't feel your internal discipline. That quiet strength, that calm in the chaos, that steadiness when life shakes. When you're still controlled by lust, when you're chasing every woman, glued to your screen, unable to control your desires, she can't trust you. When you're quick to anger, snapping at every little thing, throwing emotional tantrums, she pulls back. Not because she's trying to punish you, but because her body doesn't feel safe in your presence. And if a woman doesn't feel safe, she cannot surrender. Her guard stays up. Her femininity stays locked. Her softness disappears. But when you walk into a room and your energy speaks before you do, when your eyes are clear, when your habits reflect discipline, when you live by principle and not by pleasure, she notices. Even if she doesn't say it, she feels it. She may not be able to explain it, but something in her spirit leans in. Because she knows this is a man who won't break under pressure, this is a man who can carry weight. A man who can lead not just her, but himself. And don't get it twisted, leadership doesn't mean being loud. It doesn't mean controlling her choices or forcing her into roles. True leadership is silent power. It's integrity when no one is watching. It's restraint when your body is screaming. It's choosing to grow instead of escaping. That kind of man, he doesn't need to demand respect. He earns it, and a woman will gladly submit, not because she's weak, but because your strength makes it feel safe to let go. You want her devotion, her loyalty, her heart, then become the kind of man who leads himself when no one is looking. Master your thoughts, master your emotions, master your actions, not for her, but for you, because a man who is ruled by nothing becomes irresistible to everything. You don't need to chase her submission. You need to embody the kind of masculine presence that invites it, because in the presence of a man who has mastered himself, a woman doesn't have to be strong. She can finally just be. And that is what she's been waiting for. You've heard a lot today, and maybe it stirred something inside you. Maybe it made you uncomfortable. Maybe it made you angry. Or maybe it made you remember who you are. Because deep down, you've always known, you've always felt it, that quiet voice in the back of your soul whispering, "This isn't who I'm meant to be. I was made for more." Not to chase women who don't see your worth, not to beg for love in places where you keep being abandoned, not to shrink your truth just to keep someone who doesn't respect it. You are not here to be another broken man. You are not here to be another emotional casualty in a world that taught you to fear your own strength. You are here to rise. You are here to lead. You are here to become the man that no woman and no situation can shake. But none of this happens by accident. You have to choose it every day, every hour, every moment where you feel weak, and yet you decide to stand anyway. Because that's what strength is, not perfection, not control, but conscious direction. So I'll ask you this, are you ready to stop performing? Are you ready to stop giving your power away for a smile, a text back, or some momentary attention? Are you ready to become him? Because if you are, this is your space. This channel isn't for boys still trying to play the game. It's for men ready to rewrite the rules. If this message reached you deep like this video, drop a comment and tell me which part hit the hardest. Share it with your brother, your best friend, that one man who needs to hear this, and make sure you subscribe because this isn't entertainment. This is your awakening. Don't let this moment pass. Women do not want you to find this video, but now that you have, it's time to become the man they pray never wakes up. And you just did.